Hello, Leo. Welcome to your weekly tarot forecast here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. This is for the week of August 8th through August 14th, and we're going to jump right into it and see what the message is for you. This is a general reading. Please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, especially if this video and this reading resonates with you. All right, we're going to jump right into it for you, Leo. Let's see what you need to know for August 8th through August 14th. All right, we've got the Six of Cups. That seems like a very positive message. I think in your life right now, I think you have a quite happy position. I think you are in a good place. I think with the Six of Cups here, you have a bit of health and happiness going on with you right now. I think you're in a fairly good spot. However, we do have the Hanged Man crossing your path today or this week. So I feel like this week is going to see a requirement for you to endure some kind of sacrifice, to be willing to give up something here. I think we have a lot of court cards here. So I think that in terms of your social life, maybe your romantic life, an association that you have with a group of people, so your close friends, your family, it could be your romantic partner. I feel like there is generally some good vibes going on there, but this week there's going to be the need for some kind of a sacrifice. I think something's going to have to be relinquished, and I'm leaning towards this indicating that something in your work life, something in where you're spending your energy, where you're focusing all of your efforts, I feel like it's primarily on work stuff right now. And through this sacrifice, in order to maintain this harmony, I think the sacrifice is going to have to be something on the professional or business side of things in order to reestablish the emotional connection with this person that I think you're having this relationship with. Now, it could be a close friend or family member. It could be a romantic partner, but it's someone with whom you have a very intimate relationship. And I think that relationship, while it is very good, stable, secure, and happy and healthy, I think you're going to have to sacrifice a little bit of your efforts in your career side of things, your work life. Something's going to have to be tweaked or changed just a little bit in order for you to see how you might better connect with this person on an emotional level, right? On kind of a more spiritual, intuitive level. With that deep bond that you have with this person, I think will be strengthened if you can refocus some of your energy from this Knight of Discs, from this work, and focus on the practical side of life. Tweak things out, I should say that this Hanged Man is not all about sacrifice or loss or suffering. This is seeing things from a different perspective as well. So I think while you maybe have this experience that everything is fine, everything is perfect, everything is in harmony, there might not be too much of that. There might not be as much of that as you think, okay? So it may involve you getting a little bit of a different perspective in order to see how maybe there's this imbalance between the work life and the home life, the romantic life, the domestic life, your intimate life with this person, okay? So I do think that you're a very hardworking, practical person. I think that you really have a lot of stamina and ambition and endurance when it comes to your work life and these projects that you're doing professionally or just on the practical side of life. And I feel like you need to shift focus a little bit into your emotional connections with either with people in general or with this specific person. Now, I'm leaning towards this being a specific person, either a very close friend, family member, or your romantic partner, for a couple of reasons. First of all, we have the Lover's card as a shining influence on this, and I think this is the relationship, this is the intimate relationship that you have with this person, and this is also kind of giving you a choice, kind of asking you, well, what is the most important thing to you? Are you going to have to choose between your work, your professional interests, your hobbies, that sort of thing, wherever you're focusing all of that kind of creative work style energy? Are you going to have to choose between that and the emotional connection with this person? Or is there a way that all of this truly can be in in harmony, like we see with the Six of Cups? So I think it's this Hanged Man. Oops, I've got him upside down. Or is he right side up? I think it's about changing your perspective a little bit and maybe coming to an understanding that this type of harmony, this kind of balance between your head and your heart, your work life, your home life, I think this kind of a balance can be struck between these two areas. And I think it's going to require a little bit of a different mode of thinking, a little bit change in perspective, and maybe thinking a little bit about the sacrifice, or which one of those, because the Lover's card is really about a choice too. It's about choosing between two things that you love very much, right? And if you have to choose, which one of these would you choose? And if you don't have to choose, if there is a way to strike a balance and reestablish this harmony in other ways, what are you willing to do? What are you willing to endure in order to make that happen? Okay, so I think a balance can be struck. I think it's just a matter of you kind of reevaluating your priorities and your values and where you see yourself, in the next week, in the next month, in the next year, and what you really value. And if you want to have this kind of ultimatum, if you want to bring this to yourself where you only want to focus on one or the other of these things, or if you're willing to kind of readjust your expectations, your values, your priorities, make some sacrifices here and there in order to establish a harmony between your work life, your home life, and that kind of duality that we're seeing. Okay, so I think it's really about the potential for establishing this balance in your life and this harmony, and it's kind of about reevaluating your priorities and what kind of direction you want your life to take. Okay, Leo, and I see that you have generally some balanced emotional realities, right? I think that you're the type of person that likes to keep things rather even keeled. I think you're not a typical Leo in that way, where everything just has to be extravagant and everything has to be extreme in order for it to mean anything to you. But I do think that you have weathered a lot of storms in the past. You've been through a lot of, let's say, maybe enforced sacrifice. Maybe you've had a little much of this Hanged Man before. That wasn't really voluntary. It wasn't really your choice to give up certain things. And so you want to put all of that kind of turmoil behind you. And you want to have a very solid, stable, safe, and secure life, especially in your emotional life, right? So I think that's kind of part of now where this choice is coming into play. Like if you are being given an ultimatum and somebody is forcing you, in so many words, forcing you to make a choice between, your Knight of Discs and your Queen of Cups. If you're being forced into this choice, maybe that's kind of going to cause you to reevaluate things and see if that is really something that you want to allow happen, or if you're going to choose a different path. Because I do feel like you want a steady, safe, secure basis from which to operate, from which to advance your life and build your life and work towards your success. So I feel like you're not willing to put up with a lot of turmoil again. You're not willing to really put up with these kinds of ultimatums coming from outside, coming from someone else, right? So I think it's up to you to reevaluate things and find out how much you're willing to compromise or sacrifice for the sake of this harmony that you want to establish. That is the potential here. There's the potential for this really beautiful functioning of all of these aspects of your life, but you have to reevaluate things and really make a decision on what you're willing to do and the methods to get to that point. Okay. Now I see that you are kind of represented by this Queen of Wands energy. So I feel like And this, I think, goes a lot with what we were saying, especially with the Four of Cups here, how you've had this turmoil in the past, you've had these kinds of kind of rough waters that you've experienced, but now things are stable and you want to keep them stable and you don't want to have any more of those kinds of storms. And so you're very much in control. You're very much confident and assertive with what you want and what you don't want in life. So I feel like you have this a little bit of a stubborn energy, very opinionated. You're very self-assured and strong, and you're taking your own life into your own hands and directing that life in the way that you choose. Okay, so that's what the Queen of Wands is saying to me, is that you have this really strong attitude and this really assertive energy about you, where you're not going to put up with anything that isn't of benefit to you, or that's something negative in your life you're not going to put up with. And I think, again, that goes right along with the Four of Cups, which shows that you've been through these kinds of storms in the past and you don't want to go through them again. Okay. And now I see that the other person in your life is someone who may not really want to hear a lot of debate. They don't really want to turn this into an intellectual exercise or a debate or a discussion, really. I think they feel how they feel. They want what they want from you, and it's not really up for discussion. It's not something that you can just negotiate. Okay, and so I feel like with the Princess of Swords here, this is saying that, yeah, they're not really willing to have this kind of negotiation, right? I'm getting a strong feeling of like this real aversion to negotiation or prolonged discussion or compromising, really. I think this is just, they want what they want, and they are very much in their feelings with this. The Queen here of Cups, they're very much in their feelings and in their needs, and so it's not really up for discussion. It's not something that we can just negotiate and strike a bargain on. Okay, and here again, that this is kind of reiterating what we said with the Four of Cups and with your Queen of Wands energy, is this Five of Wands, and this is like fighting. This is conflict and struggle and just a battle, right? And I think that this is reiterating your apprehension to enter into this kind of a life again, where everything is just a battle and a struggle, and the two of you are just fighting against each other. And I think this is really kind of the same stormy seas that we just got out of, right? Or that you've experienced in the past, and now you don't want to experience those again. And so you're kind of worried that this whole situation is just going to become another battle, another storm, something else to just kind of, upset the journey a little bit. And so I feel like this is a good indication of where you don't want to go. You don't want to have this fighting. You don't want to have this like animosity and this conflict and this battle with this person, So I think that really goes back to you just wanting the stability, wanting the peace and calm that you've established with the Four of Cups here, and you don't want to return to those stormy seas in the background there. Okay, you don't want to get that back into your life. So I think that is kind of you tend to maybe avoid some conflict like this. You tend to avoid this kind of head-to-head battle and friction. So I think with this situation, again, it's kind of going to be about you changing perspectives, re-evaluating your life path, and asking yourself what you're willing to do, how you're willing to compromise between your professional life and your domestic life, your work life, home life, that kind of duality that you have. Okay, and I think in the long-term outcome, we have the Eight of Discs, and this is an interesting card for a long-term outcome, or kind of a natural progression of all of this energy here. I think nothing's going to happen right away. I think this card is indicating a little bit of a slowdown in this whole situation, that things might be just kind of put on hold. They might progress very slowly, which I think is going to allow you some time to really reflect and to really take these two major arcana cards, really take them to heart, the Lovers and the Hanged Man, where you have to reevaluate things and maybe ask yourself if there is an ultimatum there. Okay, are you giving yourself that ultimatum? And I think with the 8 of discs here, this is a good time to slow down. Don't do anything too hastily. Don't engage in any conflict and fighting. Don't make any rash decisions. Take your time. Don't be hasty, and evaluate things. Pay attention to the details. Really focus on what you want, and focus on these major arcana. Focus on the Lovers and the Hanged Man. Okay, what are you willing to sacrifice? How much are you willing to endure? Is there an ultimatum there? Is there a balance that can be struck? Is there a new way of looking at this? All with the idea in mind that you are after this harmony. Okay, this harmony between above and below, inside and outside, head and heart. All of those dualities and opposites, your work life, your home life, that we've been talking about. So I think that with the 8 of discs, it really is an indication that it's not going to happen quickly. There's going to be some time for you to reflect and to analyze the situation and really give it some deep contemplation to see where it is that you need to go next. Okay, so Leo, I think the message is fairly clear here. I think you've got a lot of good energy in your life. I think you're in a really good place now. I think just some things need to be tweaked a little bit and adjusted and just reevaluated, and just to see what you can do to increase this harmony. What is it that you can do to establish this harmony that you want? Is there sacrifices that need to be made? Is there an ultimatum? Is there some way of reconciling these differences and this duality that you are seeing with your life and with your activities, and how we're going to strike that balance, I think. So Leo, thank you very much for watching. I hope this resonated with you. Please leave me some comments and let me know how you're doing with all of this. If you want to stick around for the extended version, you can become a member of this channel, and all of the information is down in the description box below. I thank you so much for letting me read for you today.